that interview that Alex did with the two other fellows over Woody Allen, that was one of my favorites in terms of one of the fellows absolutely refused to discuss Woody Allen beyond a Jewish perspective.
Yeah, and he was a Jewish. I think he was Jewish.
Sorry?
I think he was Jewish. The guy. I believe. I can't remember.
So he was so hermetically sealed within that concept that he refused to analyze. I can't understand Woody Allen beyond a Jew.
And Woody Allen's a good example. Is like, if you look, especially at his early films, his early great films from the early part of his golden era, sort of Annie Hall, Interiors, Manhattan, Stardust Memories. Most infamously in Stardust Memories, his fans turned on him thinking that this is Woody Allen. No, it was Sandy Bates. And it was Sandy Bates within the film, made presumably by Sandy Bates. So it had a shell within a shell. It was one of these Russian dolls. We can't see that, though, because Sandy Bates looks like Woody Allen. And this is what gets to the idea that, because the Woody Allen characters talk about, or he has sex with an underage girl in Manhattan. Therefore, he must have molested his 6-year-old daughter 14 years later, even though there was absolutely no physical evidence and no evidence of anything else again. And by my even pointing that out, I'm somehow a bad person that's in favor of letting Roman Polanski roam free around the world and rape young girls, because, of course, Roman Polanski is Woody Allen and another guy. They're both Jews. So you get all of these kind of ridiculously meta things. And this is one of the reasons too, like why in these plays, in my second play especially, and also in these long books, Vincetti Brothers and A Norwegian in the Family, I use these meta techniques because you get these motherfucking assholes like the Dave Eggerses and the Thomas Pynchons and the David Foster Wallaces that try to be meta. And all they're doing is they're dancing on the pin and saying, wee, look at me. I'm saying that this is a novel, and I know that it's a novel, and even though it's a piece of shit novel that I could wipe my ass on, I'm being meta. Well, why don't we actually take some time and use some of that joy, that energy that has you dancing on the pinhead, and actually write something. I said about this crazy girl who's the New Age con artist. If she spent enough of her life focused on writing well, as she does on lying about her past and creating this meta world where she speaks to God and ghosts and whatnot, she might have become at least a passable artist instead of a hack. But people don't apply the right things in the right ways. They are, in a sense, like Francois Meljean, they are always missing the point. They have, even if they have an ability like Francois Meljean does, to get some parts of the reality, some deeper things about his captain, my captain Elias Walker, he misses some very obvious things. There's a blind spot to him, and most people have blind spots all over the place. And great art cuts through those blind spots.
How do you extricate such blind spots?
You don't. Not unless you're a great artist. You don't. Unless you have an ability to give you. I've often said, for example, I think I mentioned this in one of the interviews a year or so ago. Did I tell you about when I was in high school? I tried out for my basketball team, and I think there were like 84 people who tried out for the basketball team. And I was the 26th cut. I remember 26. The top 11 guys, at that time, 11, not 12 people made up a basketball team. So I had to be in the top 11. I was the 26th cut, meaning that I fell 15 slots shy. So they could have had 2.5 full teams before I was good enough in the coach's eyes. But I still made it in the top third. I was in the top third of basketball players in my high school in the year I tried out, which I think was 82, the spring of 82. And because it was before I got deeply involved in the gang. Or it might have been 80. No, it was 82. But anyway, so I was good enough to say I was one of in the top third of the guys who tried out. But I was nowhere near enough to be a high school basketball player, or much less be a college or a professional basketball player. And you know what? I didn't sit around and say, motherfucker, blah, 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 that I got screwed by the coaches. I accepted that they were bigger, better, faster, stronger, more endurance-worthy, better shooters, better rebounders, better. Well, I was pretty good defensively, but but there were people who were better than me. Most people don't want to accept that because, especially now, people your age, or even younger, are constantly being fed, "You're special. Everyone's unique." Even if the universe recurs like Nietzsche said, and there's another Dan Schneider saying the exact same things, and the whole history of the universe, that future universe plays out as this plays out, that Dan Schneider will not be me. That Peter Cleese won't be you, because we know atoms decay. So there will be a completely new set of atoms, quarks, and whatnot that just happen to, through statistical miracle, reproduce exactly what's happened in this universe up to this point that we're speaking. But people just don't understand these kinds of things. These things are beyond people. They want to feel they're special, that they're unique in some way. But uniqueness isn't specialness. Uniqueness is, oh, you're one of a kind. Specialness is you're one of a kind, but you also have something that is better. And I've talked about differences before. People hate difference. But if you're better, they hate you even more because there's a difference that makes them feel inferior. I don't feel inferior to LeBron James. I clearly am, basketball-wise. But let's see LeBron James write one great sonnet in his lifetime, much less all the great sonnets I wrote, much less all the great essays and short stories and plays now and great novels. I'll never spend 10 seconds on a professional basketball court. So what? I recognize my limits. You know, you have to find that. And most people won't be great in anything. They won't be a great checker player. They won't be great at digging shit out from under their toenails even. They'll constantly be cutting a little blood vesicle or whatnot, and bleeding because they're too stupid to realize, use something duller. But this is the way people are. What can you do?